Now to another developing story, perhaps one we will be talking much about tonight on the program. President Muhammadu Buhari has formally requested the House of Representatives to include the procurement of the Super Tucano aircraft to fight insecurity in the country in the 2018 Appropriation Act. This comes after the president authorized the withdrawal of $462 million from the excess crude account. In a letter read by the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Yakubu Dogara, Mr. Buhari said he granted the approval of the amount in anticipation that the National Assembly would have no objection. Yesterday on this program, we discussed the legality of the action of the President. Today, during the debates of the House of Representatives, some lawmakers say it is an impeachable offense.
It's only a singular case. And it is again another wake-up call on us. A constitutional infraction as serious as expenditure without the National Assembly clearly runs foul of this Constitution and is an impeachable offense.
What is wrong is wrong. You cannot approbate and reprobate. If it is wrong for members of this parliament to have an input in the legislative process of spending money, then it is our legislative duties to do so. Other than that, I join my voice with my other colleagues here that have moved the motion for an impeachable offense, and I so second.
So then, let's get perspectives to it. Impeachable offense. Who's committed the offense? Who is going to be impeaching? Well, let's get clarity on this one tonight on the program. That's what we try to do for you. There are some clarity that we've gotten. The Tucano super aircraft have been paid for, yes. Did the monies, where the money is gotten from the excess crude account? I think yes. Well, did the National Assembly give approval? That answer might be no. Well, let's get perspectives now, shall we? Joining me from our Abuja studio is Mr. Cletus Obun, a former lawmaker, and beside him is a lawyer, a regular analyst on Channels Television, Mr. Daniel Bwala. Gentlemen, thank you so much for your time on the program tonight. Let's begin with what we may say, okay, the legality and the legal angle to it. Is what the lawmaker saying that the action is impeachable? True or false, Mr. Bwala?
Right. Thank you for having me, Sean. I hold the view that it is not impeachable, and I will give you reasons. But it can be impeachable under a different set of circumstances. It would have been impeachable if the president approved the disbursement of the funds without sending any form of memo consistent with the provisions of the Constitution for the purposes of appropriation as required by law under Section 80, 81, and you can take a journey from there. But in this case, the president, even though has approved the disbursement or has actually expended, but has also sent a memo. So is that act an infraction? Yes. Is it impeachable? No. Why? Because the National Assembly, again under Constitution, has the powers to not only investigate the propriety or otherwise of the expenditure, because you have to understand their role is to make the laws, is to supervise, and also to investigate. So assuming the president has expended the money, they still have the powers to investigate. And the memo he has sent, the relevant service chiefs are going to appear before the necessary committee for the purposes of the defense. And I give you an analogy. Can the president declare war? The answer is yes. Can the president declare war and revert back to National Assembly later? The answer is yes. When the president declares war, is he going to use the resources of the nation that is otherwise not captured by the budget of that year, since the war was not envisioned? The answer is yes. That is why the Constitution requires for him to revert back. The president has the primary responsibility of protecting the lives and granting the welfare of the people of Nigeria. And it seems the fact in issue is one thing that is of a nature that is crucial to everybody in Nigeria. When people are complaining that the people are not secure, crisis in this part of the country or the other. So the steps is appropriate. But the political angle to what the president has done is the part that we can talk here till the cows come home as the problem between the executive and the National Assembly. Maybe that decision was made because the National Assembly may decide, just like in the case of the budget, to sit on it and frustrate the process. So he decided to go that way. In the same way that the National Assembly on several occasions have taken decisions without necessarily having to wait for the president. So there is a political angle to it, but the legality is, I believe that it is a mistake that is curable, and I believe that it is not impeachable in this circumstance.
Mr. Obun, weighing, if you may, on this one, we have an executive headed by an APC president, or elected on the platform of the APC, an APC-controlled National Assembly. It does look to some critics of this government who say that it appears that those monies were spent surreptitiously, considering the fact that when the letters were written and the confirmation of when the monies were gotten on the other side of those who are going to supply the aircraft, it looks like the monies were already spent even before the signal of wanting, the request of wanting to spend the money was written. So the question would be, is there a confusion somewhat in the government over this kind of situation?
Clearly not. I stand with my brother here, the lawyer, and I speak as a lawmaker, that there is in this country a set of rules that constantly conflicts the political interest of the actors at a particular stage. Otherwise, we have invoked on several occasions the doctrine of necessity. Here was a government that was in urgent need of stemming herdsmen attacks, and he was virulently being attacked by opponents of this government and by his conscience that we needed drones, we needed specialized aircraft, unmanned aircraft to get off. And this country was in an undeclared war, a state of an undeclared war. And several sections of the Constitution provide, and essentially the one he cited, that you have to protect and indeed defend the welfare of the citizens. Therefore, when the political tangent begins to outweigh the legal and the welfare position of the party and the people, clearly we must have to rise as a people to defend the executive, not just on account of the party coloration, but on account of the exigency of the moment. So the president acted under the doctrine of necessity. In any case, like he said, it does not vitiate the fact of the war. When we say that war is the absence of bullets and guns, what is at stake today is that it is a fact which even the enemies of this government know, that the government of Nigeria, the territorial integrity of Nigeria, and the entire of the Gulf of Guinea has been under invasion, not just from bandits across the border from Libya, but also even within our own borders. Therefore, it was the incumbent on the president to defend the territorial integrity of Nigeria, the welfare of Nigerians, and indeed Nigerian citizens and their security, which he swore to defend. So when he took out that fund, what
I'd like to pause you for a moment.
Is to
Mr. Obun, sorry, I'd like to pause you because we need to take this break. But when we come back, what can the National Assembly do? Will they punish the president for doing what perhaps is of urgent necessity? Or is it president of the federal government, executive arm of government? Did they err on this one? We'll find out more when we return from this break, everyone. Join us again.